Hey, this is Steve with Real-Time Music Solutions. Today we're going to look at building shows in Rehearsal Live Share. As there are multiple ways to create your content in RLS, we're going to break it down into three sections: the simple, the intermediate, and the complex. First, let's start with the simple. So we're in the show builder. This utility creates a custom show file with audio tracks and a Conductor Midi file. Custom show file may be shared with other users. Great. Click next. Please enter the show name. I'm going to call it Dreams, all vocals. Next. Please add Conductor tracks, which are optional. We'll go over that later. This is the quick and dirty version. We don't have any Conductor tracks. Without MIDI Conductor tracks, RLS will not be able to display accurate measure beat tick information. Do you wish to proceed? While this is true, RLS will display absolute time in minutes, seconds, and milliseconds, and you'll still be able to create markers to easily navigate around. Please enter the song name. Dreams with vocals. Click add audio files to a song. Now, it says audio files for a single song. You can do multiple audio files. That's more complex. This is the quick and dirty. So let's just go ahead and drop in one audio file. Click next. Add more songs. Nope, not for now. Click no. And I'm going to go and click OK. Share show data is putting it up on the cloud. That's another video. Click OK. Okay, and so here is our first show. And if we hit play, we go ahead and fast forward a little bit. You can just drag in the timeline or click. Get to about 15 seconds here. All right, and we hear Ellen singing along. I go ahead and fast forward to the pre-chorus area. We hear the other vocals. So this is a single audio file mixed that has all the vocals in it already. There's no muting, right? Because it's one file. If I hit mute down here in the parts mixer, everything goes away. There's no separating the parts out, which for whatever you're working on, maybe you don't need the separation. Maybe just having a backing track will be enough. Now let's go ahead and move on to the second tier, which would be creating a single song made of multiple audio files. Here I am back in the show builder, and we're going to go ahead and just call this one Dreams. Click next. And once again, we'll go ahead and skip adding the MIDI Conductor track. We'll save that for the complex explanation at the end. Go ahead and click next. We'll go ahead and say yes. Okay, please enter a song name. The song name I'm doing is Dreams. Please select audio files for the song. Go ahead and hit plus. Now all these audio files are just for this one song. It's all the different parts of the song in separate audio files. By going this route, it means that you can mute the different parts of the song. You want to mute the piano? Great. You want to mute the lead vocal? You want to mute harmony too? This is why you would build a show with multiple audio files. So I have some audio here for the song Dreams. Go ahead and just drop it in. Okay, and we can see here that I have Ellen, a backing track, Steve, Jeff, and David. The named parts are vocals. The backing is literally a band track. But one thing that might not be clear to those without recording experience is that all these audio files I dropped in need to exist in space and time relative to each other. If I play each of these audio files one at a time, you'd see that the backing track starts almost immediately. The lead vocal doesn't come in until about 15 seconds has elapsed, and then the backing vocals another 10, 15, 20 seconds after. That space is incredibly necessary. It means that all these files can live together on a grid, and parts will come in when they need to. Let's go ahead and get visual representation of this. And for that, let's move to Logic Pro. Okay, so here we are in Logic Pro, a digital audio workstation. Software like this is how audio is captured. in the modern age. I'm going to go ahead and drop in those same audio files I was using. Okay, so here we can see the literal sound waves that make up these audio files. We have the backing track. We've got David, which is a harmony vocal, Ellen, which is the lead, Jeff and Steve, which are also harmony vocals. Okay, so something to notice is that the backing track starts pretty much right at the beginning. Ellen, her sound waves don't start for 18 seconds. These harmony vocals don't come in until almost 50 seconds. There's all this silence at the beginning. That silence is incredibly important. If you were to just say, okay, I'm going to put together the audio files for a song in RLS, and you got on a microphone and sang each part completely outside of the backing track, completely outside of time, these things will not magically coalesce in RLS to fit on the grid next to each other. This silence is incredibly important. And what the silence tells us is that whomever prepped these tracks started with a backing track. They started with a backing track inside of Logic or Pro Tools or whatever software they were using, and then they sang each part. We'll go ahead and hit play. We'll listen a bit. I'm going to adjust some volumes for clarity as we go. Backing track's very loud. Okay, intro's still going. And now here's Ellen.
Here you go,
right in time with where she should be.
You want your freedom, near to the sound of a loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you back in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you were.
Okay, so we can see that everything is lined up, and having these separate tracks, the backing, all the harmonies, Ellen, ensures that we will be able to mute things in RLS. Okay, and here we are. We have our show, Dreams, just one single song. And we can see here in the mixer our parts named just like the audio files were. So that's something else to keep in mind, is that you have a limited amount of space in the parts mixer. You can hover over it and it'll give you a tooltip. So if you have really long names, you can see them that way. But as you can see, these are each named Steve, Jeff, Ellen, David, backing. So nice and clear here. And I'll go ahead and hit play. Just like I did in Logic, I'm going to go ahead and bring the backing track down a little bit as we listen. There she is. And because we have all these separate audio files, we can easily mute. She's gone. So if I was just focusing on the Steve harmony part, I could mute everything. And Steve will come in here in a second. Or if I was Ellen. Or I could just listen to the harmonies. Something to note is everyone is in control of their own local mix during the session. So some people might be muting some things, some people might be muting other things. So we have seen the benefits of using multi-tracked audio. And we've seen that all these parts come in when they should, in time and in space. If you then later want to add or remove songs, you can do so. Just click File, Modify, Original Show, and you get a plus and a minus here, and you can start to edit. I will go ahead and show you one more thing. I'll show you what happens if we actually add a MIDI conductor track, and I'll do the same tune. I'll do Dreams because I do have one for it. I'm going to go ahead and call it Dreams Conductor. Next, add the audio that goes along with it. And next. Okay, and our song was added. Finish. And I just realized that I missed the C in Conductor. That's okay. That's okay. So immediately you see that this is the tune without the MIDI conductor track, and it goes by absolute time. I click here in the timeline. We see we're at about 34 seconds, 55 seconds, a minute 53, and these are milliseconds here. If I go to the conductor, we have measures. If you're not sure what a MIDI conductor track is, here, let's look at one inside of Logic Pro, a digital audio workstation. So we can see here, I'm going to go ahead and just make this a bit bigger. We have tempo data, we have time signature data, and this constitutes a MIDI conductor track. It's something that you would create inside of a digital audio workstation. Logic, Pro Tools, Digital Performer, Cubase, the majority of digital audio workstations will allow you to create a MIDI conductor track. And this is, we can see we start at 108 beats per minute. Down here at measure 7, we dip to 60. We can see it starts in 2/4, but then shifts to 3/4. Has a bar of 9/8 at the end and a measure of 3/4. This is what a MIDI conductor track entails, is kind of the roadmap for the audio to follow. And it allows you to type in measure numbers to quickly move around the song in RLS. Okay, so here we are back in RLS, and we're looking at the markers, which, as I mentioned before, they have measures associated. That means that we do have a MIDI conductor track in place. So we can have measure marked markers. I can type in 50, hit enter twice, and we go to measure 50. And you can do this during playback as well. Typed in 5, enter twice, back at measure 5. I can click on the markers as well. Let's say I wanted one at measure 50. That's not to say that you need a MIDI conductor track in place to create markers in RLS. Let's go back to our Dreams without the conductor. As you can see, we're looking at real time, minute, second, milliseconds. I've already created a couple.
Now here you go again. You say it drives you mad.
I can look for the chorus and create a new one. Here it comes. I'll just stop there. Click the plus. Chorus. Hit play. Want to go back to the verse? Type in V. Hey, look, it autofills. Enter, enter. Type in C for the chorus. There you go. Enter, enter. Or you can click on them. Okay, and that concludes our tutorial video. We've gone over creating songs with a single audio file, with multiple audio files, and with the addition of the optional conductor track. Thanks for watching.